Welcome back to Profit Made Simple. In today's episode, we are unlocking a key to entrepreneurial success, and that is your mindset and how to navigate and manage the obstacles, the challenges, and the inevitable problems that are going to come your way. You see, there is this powerful principle that I run my business by, and that is your ability in business will be directly correlated with your capacity to handle stress. So in today's episode, I'm going to be covering two key concepts. Number one, how do you prepare yourself for the stress that you will be confronted with? Because prevention is worth a pound of cure. Secondly, when the stress does occur, how can we minimize the impact? How can we have a system, a protocol, a series of habits that ensure that stressful situation doesn't derail us? So two things I'd love for you to do. Number one, give us a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe so you can be alerted to more great content coming your way each and every week. Let's dive in to this key topic. So the first overarching concept that we want to dive deep into when it comes to cultivating our entrepreneurial mindset and really steeling ourselves against the inevitable stress and challenges that come with owning businesses is prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. I'm going to be sharing with you 7 different ways that we can build our resilience so when that stress does hit us, it doesn't have impact. Rather, we confront it and we can overcome it seamlessly and easily. So the first one is exercise. You need to be exercising at least 3 to 4 times every single week. You see, the stress just melts away when you're in good health and you're exercising regularly. This has happened to me on many occasions. I feel like the world is against me, and then I go for a run or I lift a little bit of tin, and immediately I feel better and I can confront the problem or the challenge that I'm having in a much more systematic and productive way. So your diary needs to reflect your priorities, and one of your priorities must be exercise. If you want more success, if you want to steal this mind, then you need to be committing to exercise each and every week. Number 2 is all around your sleep. I don't know if you've had those nights, and I've got 3 kids, so I've had many of these nights where I just haven't gotten any sleep at all. And then the next day, something really small will just trigger me. It might be the traffic, it might be the queue for my coffee, but I'm just so much more emotional and way less rational. And this is why sleep is very important, because again, you're going to think more clearly, you're going to think more creatively, and when the problem does arise, you're not going to react as much. You're going to take it on board, you're going to process it, and you're going to resolve it. So good sleep habits, what do they look like? You're aiming for 8 hours each and every day. You're aiming for a pre-sleep routine that indicates to the body that it's time to go to bed. You're aiming to go to bed at the same time every night and wake up at the same time every morning. And you want to minimize your screen time, alcohol, and caffeine after midday. If you do those things, you're going to sleep better than 99% of people and therefore be in a better state to be your best self and be the leader that you need to be within your business. One of the key practices that the best entrepreneurs and thought leaders do to unlock their entrepreneurial mindset, meditation, and mindfulness. In Tim Ferriss's book, Tribe of Mentors, which is a collection of all the podcast interviews he did with the very best leaders in the entrepreneurial space, there is one common theme amongst them all, and that is regular meditation and mindfulness. Now, you need to find a way of doing this that works for you. It might be an app like Headspace or Calm. It might be just really watching your breath. It might be doing it to a mantra. Whatever it is, the key is that it's done on a regular basis. Because when you do so, you're that much calmer, you're that much more collected, And when stress or problems arise, you're equipped to resolve them better. As an entrepreneur, you must look at yourself as a professional and you must treat yourself accordingly. And so this is where your diet is absolutely paramount. You need a healthy, nutritious diet that is packed full of good natural fruits, vegetables, nuts, and meats. You need to nourish your body, because if you're just feeding it a ton of caffeine and sugar just to get by the day, then you are not priming yourself against the stress that comes with being an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is stressful. It takes a toll on your body, on your mind. But if you're healthy, then you're going to be resilient. You're going to have more energy. And you're going to be able to confront anything that comes your way far easier. Fifth practice we want to do to unlock the entrepreneurial mindset, to combat stress, is to manage our energy. Now, what I mean by this is if you are going to confront difficult, stressful problems, challenges, conversations, then you need to do so at a time when you are at your prime. See, the worst thing for me to do would be to have an emotional, challenging conversation late in the day because I'm exhausted. So I need to manage my diary and book these critical tasks at a time when I know I'm at my very best. My very best in terms of energy, clarity, creativity. So energy management is key. The sixth thing that we want to do is have a ton of positive input. We want to make sure that we're just consuming great videos, great books, podcasts that challenge us, that inspire us, that lift us up. On the flip side, we want to avoid and minimize negative inputs like news and all the sensationalism that comes with it. Being an entrepreneur can be very lonely. You're very isolated and you can often feel that you are all on your own. And that is why the seventh habit that we want to indoctrinate is having strong social support and proactively and very consciously surrounding yourself with people that are on the same journey as you. So it's important that you join those groups, that you prioritize it within your calendar, because when you do so, you'll be much happier, you'll be inspired, and you'll be better equipped to handle those challenges that inevitably occur. So there are the 7 things that we want to do to prepare ourselves. But what happens when the challenge does hit us right between the eyes? How do we react? Well, I'm going to give you a 3-stage process that will help you handle this in the most productive and proactive way. The first thing we want to do is have a bounce back ability routine. You see, you can't avoid stress. You can't avoid the challenges that come with owning a business. And in fact, they're actually a good thing because this is where you grow. And if you're not having these challenges, you're not having these problems, then it probably means you're not pushing yourself or your business enough. So there's 4 stages to the bounce back ability routine. Number 1 is have a pity party. You're allowed to feel down. You're allowed to feel frustrated. You're allowed to be annoyed. But what's important is that we don't stay in this space for an extended period of time. Instead, we might say, all right, for the next 12 hours, I'm going to have myself a pity party. After that, it's time to leave it in the rearview mirror and move on with things. So number 1, have a pity party. Number 2, you can change your psychology by changing your physiology. So often that stress is so magnified, but once you go for a run or a walk and get some sun, you are now better equipped to handle it. So yes, exercise works as a prevention, but it also works when it hits there and then. Number 3 is you want to watch your self-talk, right? Often we can be really hard on ourselves, very, very harsh. We're very unkind in general. So we need to monitor our self-talk and what we're saying. The last thing we want to do is address the cause. Quite often, the problems or the challenges can be symptoms, but you've got to get to the root and the heart of the matter. You see, right now, maybe you're losing clients because one of your team members is not performing at the standard they need to be at. And so the symptom is that you're getting lots of client cancellations, but the cause is that you have a rotten apple in your team and you need to address that. The second thing you want to do when stress hits you between the eyes is reconnect with your why. It's very important that we do so because the stress or the problem or the challenge is often magnified. But relative to your grand vision, it is a speck of dust. It's so small, so it helps us see it through the appropriate lens. So number one, read that vision over and over again. Connect with why you started your business. Number two, read client testimonials. See the impact of what you're doing and how it is enhancing other people's lives. And number three, journal. Undergo some self-reflection and some introspection. And again, it will put things in context. The third thing that we want to do to manage stress better when it does hit us is speak to a coach or a confidant. Quite often we can blow things out of proportion, and an external party that has no emotional bias can see things for what they are, and they can help allay those fears and ensure that we're looking at this from the right angle. Today's video looked at how we unlock the entrepreneurial mindset, and we have strategies for success when it comes to dealing with conflict, stress, problems, and challenges. Now there's two parts to this. Number one, we want to have a prevention system, and there's 7 different areas that I covered so we can build resilience. The second part is to have a 3-step routine when the stress does occur. So this was having a bounce back ability routine, making sure that we have a connection to our why, and lastly, speaking to a coach or a confidant. When we have these 2 practices working together, we will be able to overcome anything that life throws at us, and we'll be able to move our business and our dreams forward. Your ability in business is directly correlated to your capacity to handle stress. Today I have shared several strategies so you are better equipped. Remember, you have the power to shape your own destiny. Embrace these strategies and watch your profits soar.